Good morning, mathematicians, and welcome. I've got a special guest with me, James Steele.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah. So only I promised you guys. I would have two special guests, but you only get one today.
I think together we make up three.
Yeah, exactly.
In some ways.
Exactly. I gotta kill all this background stuff. I gotta open up chat. It takes me a second to get things opened up and going here. But yeah, so James is my academic brother. He's got the same supervisor, and we do research stuff together. I'm colluding with a theft. What did he steal? What? Oh, because his last name. I see.
Oh,
yeah,
Steele.
Yeah.
You know, most people usually go to the metal, but I'm glad you went straight for criminality.
Yeah, refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. How do we... Actually, I didn't think at all about how we start off today. Normally what I do is I yap about random things. I react to things on Reddit. And
well, that's good, because that's usually what I do in the morning, too, just not on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, live on the internet, clearly I'm on.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I started doing this live stream, because I'm like, wow, I'm just wasting an hour of my morning on Reddit anyways.
May as well waste it with a few other people online.
Exactly. Although, like, you can see last time, these are my notes from last time, I was yapping about someone was asking about Tor and, like, ext functors and why we have that, so I was yapping about those.
I have something to talk about with Tor. I think Tor is underutilized.
Oh, by the way,
notation.
I've got people are constantly come up with inventive ways to say hello.
Oh, really?
In the mornings.
Oh, amazing. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay, let's hear your take on Tor. Why is it?
Well, it's not that insightful.
Isn't it everywhere though?
Tor is everywhere, but I just find that people don't use it too often. Like they usually use like derived tensor notation or something like that. Homology of tensor, that kind of stuff. You don't use it when you're reading papers. You don't see Tor that often. You see ext all the time, but I feel like ext is crowding out Tor. That's it. I don't think there's much to say about that. I just noticed it the other day because I was reading a paper that had Tor in it, and it was a nice. It was refreshing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, there's all this. I mean, isn't it essential? Isn't it like the right way to do intersection theory in like higher algebraic geometry? What is it? There's some. God, I don't even know what to look up to bring up the formula. Derived tensor is superior to Tor. Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. People should start using derived global sections more too, rather than cohomology.
See, people have all this fancy stuff. I just like Tor and ext. It was good. But ext gets used all the time. So do you just write hom instead of ext? I guess not really. You see X all the time. I guess I use X all the time, so maybe that's why I'm biased.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're here for biases. Forget even derived tensor product. Let's go with smash products directly.
Oh yeah.
But does that subsume all?
Well, smash products are just another product.
Yeah, but does that like totally subsume? Well, no, we should go to NLab. For this. But is there like a general definition that subsumes all like derived tensor things? Oh, maybe. What is it here?
Interesting.
Symmetric monoidal category. Two-pointed objects. Their smash object is given by the following pushout. I see.
Wait, so it's a pushout of pushouts.
Smash product over Eilenberg-MacLane spectra coincides with derived tensor product. I see. I know nothing about spectra.
Yeah. I don't know that either. But it sounds neat.
Yeah.
Put my phone up.
I don't know. Should we maybe react to some
let's go through
Reddit
Reddit
news?
posts.
Yeah. Or I don't know. Maybe you should tell people a bit about what you do in our research group.
Sure. Yeah. Well, do they know kind of what you've been doing?
Yeah, some of them. I mean, random people show up all the time, but I yap a bunch about the Kasdan-Lustig hypothesis.
I see.
I've yapped about perverse sheaves and representations of p-adic groups.
Oh, okay. So they know a little bit. Yeah. Well, basically the Coles notes are that we look at the Langley's correspondence for p-adic groups, non-Archimedean groups, and that's of course just a classification of the simple objects or the irreducible smooth representations of a p-adic group that are classified by basically like generalizations of.
If you want to bring up the
writing
pad too at some point.
Yeah, sure.
On the screen. Let me know.
Yeah. Well, I'll give a brief once over, and then maybe we can like write a bit to show what we're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I basically. So then So the EREPs are classified by Langland's parameters, which are just generalizations of Galois representations, and that can be miraculously, if you take all of those Langland's parameters together, they cook up a variety. And if you look at the intersection cohomology of that variety, so the category of equivariant perverse sheaves, equivariant meaning compatible with a certain group action, you can reimagine the Langland's correspondence as this correspondence between these two simple objects into perfect. Maybe it's better if we
I'll annotate as you as you.
So basically, we've redone we haven't. Vogan did in the 90s as a bijection between between a subcategory of the category of equivariant perverse sheaves and a subcategory of the category of representations of the p-adic group. And basically what I've done is just shown that in a special case that is a causal duality between the two abelian categories, meaning that it's a causal duality between the derived categories. That's kind of like a folklore theorem, but the abelian hearts of those two categories line up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
But now, how do we put the causal here? I don't know. Put a K in the middle.
Yeah, I like KOZ. I was using KOZ for a long time, but I realized that's not how you spell causal. Like, there's an S before the Z.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Z's...
Kappa. The Z's so good.
Yeah, the Z's so good.
Yeah.
I think we can call it cause.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a better way.
So that's basically what we're doing, and then looking at other stuff. So basically, I like just looking at different categorical structures on one side of the Langland's correspondence and seeing if we can reinterpret them on the other side. Basically, we're just kind of going deeper into generalized Springer theory.
Right.
Constantly.
Right.
Would you say that's a fair estimation of what we're doing?
Yeah. Arad asks if it's related to categorical p-adic Langlands. And I don't think really. I don't think...
Well, okay, so...
I mean, the same ideas are happening, but they're very different worlds.
P-adic Langlands, if I'm not mistaken, often means you're looking at representations, not complex representations, but p-adic representations. Is that the case? Or mod P representations?
I think you're looking at it can be either so you're still looking, like, we look at representations of p-adic groups, but the ones we look at those representations are on complex vector spaces. And then the other ones, you can either do QP or you can do QL for L not equal to P.
Yeah.
Right? And then those are two very different stories in themselves. But, yeah, both of these things have been categorified to the nines.
Have they for the p-adic one?
Yep.
I don't know. Oh, really?
Yeah, that's all like
stuff like Schulze did. It's all very We've got a categorical local Langlands for that.
Well, it's conjecturally still, I think, but
I wonder what extent is it known?
There's no chance that there's the p-adic local Langlands is known, and the regular local Langlands, categorical local Langlands, is not.
But I think
like Schulze did it for GLN.
No, that's our Langlands he did for GLN.
Yeah.
Like, he did complex representation.
But he was able to do p-adic.
Well, actually, and Bushnell and Enyart, I mean, they did it first.
Well, they did the local Langlands, and then
they did GLN.
Yeah,
but
not categorically.
Not categorically. And then Schulze did his version of GLN with his new techniques, much shorter, which starts to introduce categorical things. But then I think he. I'm not saying it's solved, but it's at least formulated. Like, we know what the statement of categorical local England should be.
Yes.
For the p-adic, for the not our story.
Yes.
I mean, we kind of have an idea of what it is in our story.
Yeah, I would say it's at least conjectural with maybe it's been proved for unipotent representations or...
just meant the groups living over p-adic local field. If you're looking at something like Veydelin reps, then the representation, spaces, topology shouldn't matter much.
Oh, yeah.
For the Veydelin reps, no, it does kind of matter, because we have like on the representation theory side, yes, the topology kind of doesn't matter, because so when you're doing like a p-adic group and reps into GL, some complex vector space, normally we just ask that the maps are smooth, so that just means locally constant. And so there really isn't, topologically, there isn't anything trivial happening there. But when we go over to the Veydelin reps, absolutely there's something non-trivial happening here, because it's weirder, like there's incompatibilities. Like, this is some like pro-finite group. Well, not quite, but it's something like a pro-finite group, right? And this is like some complex group. Yeah, this is some complex group times the Galois group. And then we want this, like... It does need to be... Like, we want this to be continuous, and there's some semi-simplicity condition, and...
Yeah, it has to be semi-simple on unipotent parameters. It has to be... and then it has to satisfy some other conditions. Like, the problem is that we just kind of cut straight to the geometry and then go.
Yeah.
But But to answer your question, how categorical Langlands is generally conceived is as this equivalence of derived categories between Bun-G and a category of coherent sheaves, or I guess quasi-coherent sheaves, depending on your taste, on a massive stack of Langlands parameters. And then there is results from Bensby and Nadler and a few other people on that paper that kind of view this as a localization, or view Vogan's conception of the Langlands correspondence, which is what we work on, as a localization. And so theoretically, it's a localization and then a causal duality of what's generally, or I should say, not theoretically, but conjecturally, it should be a localization of this story.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Side note, we are talking about parameters, but they're the same thing as Veydelin reps. Because a Veydelin rep is what? So you have just a rep of the Vey group. There's 3 pieces of data. I don't remember what it is. You also have a nilpotent piece. That's what determines... So it's like rho is your rep of the vowel group. That's just a rep of the vowel group. And then you have your n, and that basically lives in the Lie algebra of G hat. And I forget what the...
It's a semi-simple element, right?
Oh, right. And then you have the semi-simple element. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, but you can go back and forth, like the Langland's parameters and the Veid-Delin reps, like these are equivalent perspectives. You can go back and forth between these.
And the way to think about it, the way I always think about it is that group LG, the L group, you can just then embed into GLN and just view it as a representation.
No, not in general.
Okay, yeah, fair enough, not in general, but I'm saying
we normally think about the split case, so we can just so it just is in G hat, and then but truthfully, it's more complicated.
But like morally, you can view it as representations that factor through this group, ish. Yeah. So, but that's a lie, but it's a convenient lie for intuition, I think. Yeah.
I think in practice, I always just take things to be landing in G hat. I never.
Yeah, practice. I think I just simplify things as much as possible. Yeah.
Anywho, okay. I don't know. Let's go see what Reddit has for us. There's surprising. There's I don't know. Normally, maybe it's because we just came out the gate swinging with talking about our research. Sometimes there's usually more people in chat. There's random questions popping off. But let's see what Reddit has for us. A success story for calculus. Nice. We like to see it. Oh, final report. Oh, this is why people were talking about Josie. Good morning, Nicole. You know about? Do you know about Joshi?
I do. Well, yeah. I know about it only how you've summarized me for it. But I think I'm out of date. Maybe you could fill me in.
Well, I guess. So Nicole's asking what's happening. This is my academic sibling James. So he's joining me for a very, very special episode of the Office Hour, and we're yapping about nonsense.
Now into what's happening with the Mochizuki Schultz.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, the TLDR is basically Joshi came out and was like, Mochizuki's wrong, but I think I can fix it. And so he published some papers claiming to fix it.
Oh, really?
But then Schultz was like, no, you didn't. And Mochizuki was like, there was nothing wrong in the first place. Like, just completely, he was harsh. He was just like ripping on Joshi.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting. Final report is very interesting. I'm curious to see what Joshi's saying now. Kristaps, introduce me to your academic siblings. Well, I just did an introduction.
Well, we have more academic siblings. Maybe they can.
Yeah, we have a whole family up in here. It's not as big as it once was. At the height of everything, we had how many grad students? You, me, Jose, Mishti.
Yeah. And that was it.
James and AC and Andre.
Oh yeah, right. And did you ever overlap with Jeff? When did Jeff?
No, Jeff was gone by the time I got here.
Oh, was he? Okay.
But I mean, all these people were here at one point.
Yeah.
Plus Sarah. Time. Plus Sarah was here in that era as well, postdoc.
Yeah.
So we once had 7 people in the group. Tell us more about this mathematician's beef. Well, the lore is deep. I've thought about making a video on it, but at this point, it would be like a 2-hour-long video essay. Like I thought about going and like collecting every piece of like detail and evidence.
I just find that the more I look into it, the more I feel like I'm gonna have to try to figure out the math of it, which sounds.
No, that's impossible. There's
undesirable.
There's actually only wow. March 12th. This isn't even that new. But yeah, there's only like 20 people in the world who are actually qualified to have an opinion on this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah, I mean it's difficult. Yeah, even to just get a sense of the like legitimate mathematics surrounding this area, I think is difficult.
I did look through his paper once, and I appreciate some of the notation.
Okay, actually, here's my hot take. Hot take. Let's see if I can find it. I think I've given this hot take on here before. Mochizuki. Very salty. Yeah. So I think this is the one.
Hi, Arcturus and Nicole.
So I kind of like his writing style. Like, it's hard to read. Objectively, it's hard to read, but just his like judicious use of bold and italics is just so. I don't know. There's something like very expressive about the writing, and so from trying to sit down and read this makes it difficult to read, but like from a purely like perspective of just viewing it as creative writing, I don't know. I just love the
yeah. I like it when mathematicians play around a little bit with breaking out of form. You know what I mean? Like, I think that.
I mean, to be clear, I wouldn't want to read this in a paper that I was trying to extract information from. I wouldn't want to see this in like an ordinary paper. It's like, bro, I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, this that's true. But I also appreciate when you're reading a paper and they've written a little bit more, tried to make it a little bit more readable, a little bit less dense, maybe a little more colloquial. It makes the medicine go down a little bit quicker.
Right. Yeah. I feel like physicists are better at this. There's more fun physics papers that are just, yeah.
Okay, I was reading a book yesterday, and they made an argument. So people often compare math to poetry, but they were saying that physics should actually be the poetry because mathematicians are obsessed with formalism. So math is kind of like the prose. And then the physics is the poetry because you're allowed to break the rules a little bit. Right. But like being like, infinity is just
shove it under the rug. Yeah, the physicists are like the creative writing students.
Yeah,
and we're like the, I don't know what would you call it, the essayists or something.
We're like the Dante scholars,
obsessed with grammar. Yeah, we're like, actually the
like
AP
linguists. Oh man, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
Wow, we're the nerds of the nerds. That's rough. Okay, let's just see. What is the final conclusion? I've examined the claims of Boom 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 in meticulous detail and provided in the series of papers Boom 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 a canonical formulation of the theory without which Mochizuki's work stands incomplete. I've also conclusively shown that all the objections voiced in these regarding IUT stand dismantled. To put it simply, Table 2 shows that every mathematical assertion of these is incorrect. Okay, that is a bold new, because previously when I had interacted with this, it seemed like Joshi published these things, received some criticism from like Schulze and others, and was like open to that criticism and actively working on things. But this seems interesting. Also, yeah, by the way, there's tons of great discussion about all of this on Peter Voigt's blog. So I'd recommend anyone who wants to go, check out the history of it, go look it up there. Nicole mentioned some time ago that she was thinking about what to do in your master's. I guess you and your advisor settled on things concerning Dirac structures on Lie groupoids.
Cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I also don't know anything about it, but I'm excited for you to start as well. That's sweet. Joshi posted something again. That's what we're looking at the moment.
What is a Lie groupoid? Do you know?
I actually sat
Is it
in
groupoid with a topology?
Yeah, no, it's more complicated than that. I sat in on a seminar once. I mean, the idea is, I think the idea is it's supposed to just be like in the same way you just imagine a groupoid, but now all the Hom sets have the structure of a Lie group.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So
yeah,
okay, so every Lie group should be a one object Lie groupoid.
Right.
But I think if I'm remembering, here's another clever introduction from Dessin. I think. Wait, Hiko. Somehow that's supposed to be hello or something. I don't know. Actually, I don't get this one, Dessin. I assumed it was a. Oh, is it high K? Oh, maybe it's high K for high K theory. That's what it is.
Oh.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Wonder if this will actually be the final report. Maybe Schulze will just stop reviewing the work. Yeah, probably at some point. But I don't know. I'm going to dig deeper into this.
Well, Nicole, with your Lie groupoids, is there some type of canonical example that we should think about? Or something to that effect?
Lie groupoid is made up of two manifolds.
Oh, okay.
Of two manifolds, G and M, and we see M as units and G as arrows. Right, I vaguely recall something about this. Hello, Luna the Kark. I'm glad that you caught this very special live stream. Arcturus. Today I'm gonna prove I'm not gonna be a crank. I've already algebraic topology proof. I'm just gonna prove pi 1 of S1 equals Z soon. I hope you do. To fill you in, Arcturus is, claims to be an 11-year-old from, I don't know, somewhere in the world. But has said a bunch of statements about, I understand arithmetic geometry, I'm reading Neukirch and blah, blah, blah. And then I challenged them to send me a very simple set theory proof, and then they were unable to do it. And then
I see.
I was trying to pull them back from the throes of crankdom, and then they sent me a very strong-worded email calling me, an idiot and whatnot. But I still have them on stream, and they have been promising me for some time that they're going to send me an actual proper written proof. It has not materialized in my inbox, but
that is.
I still believe in and support Arcturus. I'm hoping that I can save Arcturus from total crankdown.
I'm excited.
So yeah, that's the T on that. Hello, Yaman. The special guest today. This is my academic sibling. This is my academic one of many. We're a big family. This is James. He thinks about Kojoule duality in the Langlands program.
Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to be on TV.
Yeah. Just trying to get famous.
I should get famous any way I can.
Yeah. I mean, the channel's popping. I'm past 6K now. 6K subs.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Well, should we
talk about Kojoule duality?
Maybe, but actually, I was gonna say you wanted to talk possibly later today with me and Jose.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about induction spaces.
Okay. Do you want to?
Let's do it right now.
We could ask your question on stream. So yeah, we're gonna do possibly. Well, we'll see. There's questions popping off now, but we could maybe start chatting about do some. Oh, did I turn off my microphone? No. But we could probably start.
Yeah, if you're so tired of math you want to throw up and leave it behind, that means you're in a good space. But you should probably take a walk, in the woods or other natural environments you might have around you, and reset would be what I would recommend. Don't push it.
Yeah.
You don't want to hate math.
Yeah.
This is easy to.
To be honest, I have never felt that way, just because I am sick in the head, like most people most people, and actually I wanted to say this the other day because someone was asking about how much time I spend thinking about math every day, or how much time I spend working on math. I spend a lot. I spend like most of my waking moments thinking about math. But I should say that I know so many people that are way more talented than me that spend way less time doing math on a given day. So like, don't feel that you need to feel that way, but to be perfectly honest, I don't think I've ever felt sick of math.
Yeah, I think I've come to realize that I need to force myself to do less math to be better at math. To like, you have to kind of let your unconscious brain take over sometimes, so you can cleanse the palate, I guess, or something like that. Because I think that. Well, I don't know. You seem to have a good diversity of math that you expose yourself to, whereas I get I hyper focus on problems for like days, and I get nowhere.
Well, the problem is I might hyper focus on occasion, but I hyper focus on things I'm not supposed to be doing, like. But you can see behind on the whiteboard, there's a whole bunch of graph theory versus representation theory stuff I've been working on.
Oh, yeah.
It has nothing to do with anything, but I'm so obsessed with it, I can't stop working on it, and it's like, I have other things to do.
Well, one day we gotta talk about the graph
stuff
again.
Yeah. Good morning from Baltimore. Have I ever used Floor homology? No, but I heard it's hard. I have a book on it, actually. I've looked at the book. It does have something. I think there's something.
Oh yeah.
Floor homology, I think, does have relationships to like microlocal, like Morse groups and stuff. It does.
Wait, is floor homology the one that shows up in the mirror symmetry category? Whatever that category is that has the manifolds. I think it is.
Is that what you're thinking of, Super Baron? Or was that Super Baron? Who said that?
No, Paul Maurice. Paul Maurice. Paul Maurice is in here always asking me the tough questions, or like compute the étal fundamental group of this and that. And sometimes I can do them, but
okay, yeah, perfect, yeah. Floor homology.
Yeah, symplectic. There we go. Morse homology. It definitely has something to do with our research.
No, it does for sure. So this is what it is. So this is what I was kind of ranting about at the end of when we were in DC. Was that so? There's a perspective on microlocalization where you can view. So there's microlocalization is the functor EV or the microlocal functor from Sato or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm probably misattributing that, but I've read it in Sato's papers. Kashiwara, I guess, whoever first came up with it. I don't know, but the Morse, like a categorical interpretation of Morse theory. So you apply this functor, which is basically like vanishing cycles along certain slices of your covering space, conormal bundle, whatever you want to call it, But the question is, what category should that land in, basically, right? Because it doesn't really land in a category. It just gives you some stocks of some perverse sheaves or D modules, whatever you want, from which you're supposed to calculate the characteristic cycles, which are kind of like a microlocal Euler product, or Euler
characteristic.
Euler characteristic, thank you. But then the mirror symmetry guys, they think about this as a category where the objects are these Lagrangian varieties, which are basically the microlocal support of a sheaf, and the maps are floor homology sets of the intersections of these things. So you look at the intersection between two Lagrangian subvarieties, and then the maps are the homology sets. Am I doing that right?
Yeah, there's the relation to mirror symmetry.
Oh, perfect.
Luna, this might be terrifying, but that's good for you. You gotta, if you start the day off with a nice pump of adrenaline, you'll have a nice pump of adrenaline. Will get you thinking.
Totally.
Thinking for the day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the string theory, I don't know anything about string theory, but I have read a book about
mirror symmetry one. So I know how mirror symmetry works, but I don't know how it relates to physics. So.
Actually, James and I were at a summer school
that's where we met.
in 2019.
We met at the
an earlier summer school, but
That's
then met again at at a summer school on the homological mirror symmetry.
I actually think about that summer school all the time because what we were in. This was the summer before I started grad school. And I think you were already in your master's at that point. Were you?
Yeah, I think also the summer before I was starting my master's.
But regardless, we were in the grad school part of it.
Yeah, which was a mistake.
We thought we were too big for our boots.
Yeah. We're like, oh yeah, we're starting grad school. We'll go on the grad school thing. And I don't remember.
I remember walking over to the undergraduate stuff and looking at it and being like, wow, this gives me way more intuition. I should have just taken this one.
Yeah.
We
would have learned so
the
much
undergraduate
more.
one.
Yeah. Dayson was asking about intuition for a site, but basically it's just a topological. Think about like a topological space. That's kind of the idea. Is you're generalizing a topological.
I actually have a pretty good, I think, intuition for a site that I could maybe give you. So if you think about it, if you're comfortable with sheaves, right? Sheaves are a way of wrapping up functions off a topological space, but really what you're doing is you're setting some conditions on a contravariant functor from the category of open sets to set or vector spaces or whatever you want your sheaves to land in. And those are the so if you just look at that naively, that's those are pre-sheaves, and then you set some conditions, gluing conditions to make them sheaves. And basically the question of a site is if you just replace open of X op, meaning the category of open sets, if you replace that lattice category with any other category and try to replicate the gluing conditions, I would say that's a site.
Yeah. Luna here is saying the most true thing ever. Anything I do not know is horrible and terrifying, and everything that I do know is simple and intuitive.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're both in, I don't know, you're in a nebulous, strange year because you transferred into Ph.D.
I transferred in, yeah.
I'm nearing the end of my 4th year of my Ph.D.
I'm in the, well, okay, so I'm in the 6th year, but I transferred from my master's, and I also took 2 years off because I was involved in our graduate union equivalent. And so I'm in a superposition between 4th and 6th year, I guess. I would say, yeah. As administratively, I'm in 4th year. In practice, I feel like I'm in 8th year. So,
right. Yeah. Hello, Duck with a monocle. Yeah, I do have a colleague. With me, my academic brother. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna get Jose on here soon, maybe another morning this week or something when he's less busy. Nearing the end. When does my semester start? Well, I'm not TAing. I mean, we're both long done with taking courses.
Yeah.
I'm not TAing.
I'm teaching.
You're teaching. You're teaching this semester, right?
Yeah, I'm teaching 311.
Are you teaching next semester as well?
No.
Nice.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Take some time off.
The teaching's kind of killing me though. I'm ready for this semester to be over.
Really?
And it just started. I'm teaching.
I thought 311 would be okay.
311's way easier to teach than the algebra course. That was
definitely.
Much prep and stuff. But it's just the condensed semester. You just have to produce notes and content every day. It feels like. So. Not as much research as I hope, but.
Paul Maurice is asking about Stukas in local Langlands. I think yes, sort of, but maybe that's more global thing. I don't know shit.
Stukas are basically like perverse sheaves of categories, aren't they? Is that right? Maybe that's misinformation.
Dayson asks if we plan to work all our lives in the same area. God, I have no idea. I have no idea if I'm even going to be in academia all my life. Probably I will publish papers all my life. I think that will be true. Whether
Yeah,
I
I'd
stay
like
in
that.
academia or not. Will it always be in Langland? I don't know. I mean, I've got ramblings on the whiteboard behind me because, to be honest, I kind of want to publish. I have an idea for a graph theory paper. I kind of want to publish that. Please review here if I can. I'll maybe review it. I don't want to go. I don't want to open it. Open my email on stream because I've currently got the stream is doing a full screen caption. I don't want to expose other information in my email at the moment.
Incriminating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm not gonna open it on stream now, but yeah, I could review it. I don't know. Maybe I'll set it up to review it on stream tomorrow morning. How about that? Does my friend know about dessin? I don't know. Do you know about the theory of dessin? Dessin d'enfant?
No.
Oh. It's very cool.
What is the theory?
It's basically, well, the literal
Like
translation is no.
Oh.
The literal translation is child's drawings
No.
from French, and well, I don't even know a good way to explain it. Maybe let's look it up. Let's look at the. Oh, what am I doing? Math. There we go. Yeah, it's something I've always wanted to understand better. But in mathematics, it's a type of graph embedding to study Riemann surfaces. But it allows you to study the absolute Galois group. Like, I don't know if you've heard of this theory of, like, you like, take the thrice punctured projective space, and then you get some, like, Galois group action on it, and somehow you, like, write down polynomials, and you write down little graph drawings, and, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
No, I like this kind of stuff.
Yeah, like there's this stuff about like the connecting, like I don't know.
Wow.
There's crazy stuff going on. Crazy stuff going on here. Yeah, I don't even know the best way to describe it, but it's interesting.
Well, they're nice pictures.
Yeah. The duck with a monocle asks, could we describe the process for submitting papers? Isn't it literally pay to publish in America? No, absolutely not. You should never pay to publish a paper.
No.
You should never pay to publish a paper.
If you're paying to publish a paper, you're getting exploited.
Yeah, you're getting scammed.
Yeah.
Well, and first off, these borders don't really mean anything anymore to say, like, oh, it works, like, oh, in America, in this country, and that, because, everything's online, everything's digital now. You can submit wherever, but...
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we've both submitted papers now in our lives, and definitely neither of us have ever paid.
No. You should not be like. There is a practice now that's kind of controversial where, because of the lack of funding in sciences, which okay, whatever, I won't go to it, but because of that. There are papers that basically it's a pay to publish, so they charge like $5,000 or something like that to publish a paper. But they basically, some of them, I'm told, use it to get papers from cranks who claim they've solved the Riemann hypothesis in 4 pages or something like that.
Yeah.
And then use it to fund, conferences or other research projects.
Yeah.
Which is, I would say, morally ambiguous. It's a controversial subject. Some people are very pro it and like kind of pulling one over on the cranks, and some people view it as just another form of exploitation. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think But to talk more about the process of submitting a paper, I mean, usually first, before you submit it, or at the same time, you put a preprint on archive.
Yeah. I like the way, you know, if I had my druthers, I can't stand finalizing paper with all this stuff in it. I'm just so, I do not have attention to detail. And so the way, like, supposedly, the way Gates Gorey does it and stuff is he's like, publishing papers is a waste of time. Just throws everything up on the archive.
Yeah,
Now,
but he's Gates
god,
Gorey. But
yeah,
he's Gates.
if
He
I was
can
a
do
math
whatever
god
the
like
hell
Gates
he
Gorey,
wants.
He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
We're just trying out here to get jobs to pay our rent. So,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah. So it's a different landscape we're working with.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Springer and Burkhauser? I mean, it's like saying, how do you feel about you know, the government of Canada or something like that? Right? It's like, well, I enjoy living in this country, but I can criticize it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's yeah. How do you feel about the overlord in the spaceship living above us? You know what I mean? It's like I think they're, I mean, they publish a lot of books that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I would say, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first Arcturus asks if you know or heard about Parahoric models of Chimera varieties.
No.
Yeah, neither.
No, I don't. Sorry, man.
Unique question. What if you absolutely hate working on math, but you want to get good at it still? Like, the amount of work is horrifying, so I want to manipulate myself into enjoying it. Well, but, I mean, why? That's a strange thing. Like, you hate it, but you want to get good at... Why do you want to get good at it? Like just to make money or something? Or just to, like, have better problem-solving
Or is there any type of
skills?
math that you like?
Yeah.
Or...
I don't know, like, this is one thing. I see posts on Reddit sometimes where people are like, how do I get into math? How do I make myself like math? And I'm like, why? Why try to make yourself like something that... Actually, no. See, I start thinking about things and then I immediately see the other side.
Yeah.
And then I'm like... Because part of me is like, well, if you don't like something, just don't do that. Like, lean into something else. Like, if if you're much more interested in, like, making pottery and you hate math, then, like, go make pottery and don't do math. You know what I mean?
And then you find out you need a job after grad school and start studying financial mathematics.
Actually, pottery's probably more lucrative. Well,
Yeah.
not than financial mathematics, but then our
Yeah.
degrees, because you're creating, like, practical items that someone's going to use in the real world. But then again, on the other hand, there's a big part of me that does believe that you can force yourself to like anything. Like, I feel this way for food. I was a lot pickier when I was younger about certain kinds of foods, and then I just forced myself to eat a bunch of stuff, and now I feel like my taste buds are way more open. Or like,
yeah, I would say it's a bit, you know, you have to pick what you want to lean into, right? So the example that I give is when I was young, I was super pretentious, and I was like, I need to listen to the, you know, most artsiest, edgiest music, and the artsiest, edgiest, read the artsiest, edgiest writing, and, you know, pretend that I like very, like, esoteric, anything, just so that I could be, like, cool, or whatever, right?
right.
And then I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to listen to whatever music I like and whatever. I'm not going to, like, try to lean into it.
Yeah.
The flip side of that is with math and other stuff, you know, you kind of pick what you want to work on to get, because there are lots of stuff in life that you need to kind of learn a lot about it in order to enjoy it. And it's kind of a personal decision whether or not you want to spend the time to learn the rules of the game in order to play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like chess. Like, if you didn't know how to play chess and I just handed you a chessboard and some pieces, you'd be like, well, this is not fun. I can't build this into anything or whatever, right? But if you learn how to play the game, it's enjoyable. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can find a totally new way to, like, waste your life and be poor.
Yeah, exactly.
Ph.D, chess player, take your pick. What's the wall one has to surpass between first-year grad and published Ph.D. students?
Oh, I actually have a lot of thoughts on this. Generally, just think about, don't try to solve a problem that's should be solved by a seasoned mathematician. Like, try to get good at publishing a paper that you think you can get published, that you think you like find a problem you think you can reasonably solve. And I think the process of writing a paper and figuring out all the ways to put together the lemmas, I think was as useful a process as actually solving the problem.
Yeah.
But that's also me who's like doesn't have an attention span.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, the other thing too is like, what's the wall? I don't know if I can say exactly what the wall is, but like, as I've said before, the thing is your supervisor should be the one guiding you through it, right? Like, ideally, they'll have some sense of what a tractable problem is for you to take a bite out of, and
that's true.
Yeah.
But that's not always the case. So you kind of
that's true.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is a very different thing because you don't have, unlike homework exercises, you don't have the assurance that the problem's solvable. And you also writing a paper is just, it's different. It's just different. I don't know what to say about the wall and how to surpass it, though. It's like Kristaps wanting to be a streamer in reference to the trying to do something that you hate. I don't hate being a streamer, or I don't know. Really funny to think that people want to Pavlov themselves into liking maths. I mean, it can open a lot of doors, I guess. People are drawn to math naturally, but others have negative experiences, but are still willing to try and see the beauty and elegance of math. Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, if people can overcome their math trauma, that's good. It's probably difficult, but it's probably good. Well, we're behind in chat. There's so much going on, and probably we should wrap it up soon. I think we both have to go.
Unfortunately.
Root of your negative emotion comes from perfectionism. Oh yeah. You definitely do need to let go of that because. The only way to get good at math is to produce mountains of garbage.
Totally.
And so get used to producing garbage. Yeah, including your published papers. Like math, but not how much effort it takes.
Exactly. So that's a good point. That's how you end up in Langlands. Is you try to be pretentious about stuff.
Exactly. I think both of us went through. I wouldn't say I was as motivated to be like, oh, I need to like the most esoteric stuff. I sort of naturally like the most esoteric stuff, but then I afterwards became pretentious about it. Like, so I wasn't like, oh, I need to be cool, so I'm going to make myself like the pretentious. I naturally like the weird stuff, but then that gave me a superiority complex when I was like in my 20s.
Well, exactly. That's the thing.
I'm so much better because I like
math. You're into it, and then then you see some other guy that's way more into it, and you're like, wow, I can outdo him.
Yeah.
And then then it's like music, right? You keep on listening to. And then you realize you're just listening to like white noise.
Yeah.
It's like nothing happening.
Yeah.
You're like, wow.
And then suddenly you're publishing in language.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Programming is more taxing. Maybe. But there's nothing like when you hit your stride, when you're like highly caffeinated and you hit your stride while programming. I guess it's the same feeling as when you're in the caffeine zone doing math.
It's like when you watch the videos of people like cutting pieces of paper with a really sharp knife or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, hey Deepak, this is my. Unfortunately, we're probably ending the stream right away, but this is my academic brother. Deepak's one of the. Well, there's quite a few like long time viewers
regulars
here.
Yeah.
Valid criticism of most grad level math textbook is there needs to be motivation. Yeah, but you know what? I feel this way, but also at the same time, I mean, certainly groups, you can find lots of books with motivations for groups, but I feel like, at this stage in my life, I understand how hard it is to even write like 10 pages of well-written mathematics. And so I'm like, wow, writing. I'm like writing an entire ass book. I'm like, your instructor can give you the motivation. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe we should call it. Maybe we should call it here.
Yeah, I guess we can call it, and then maybe we can talk about conduction spaces next time.
Oh, what's this last? Sorry, maybe there's this last question here. We'll take this last question. Hi, James. Currently senior in mathematics. Student thinking of extending your graduation to 2027 to fit in more research. Yeah, NSF is taking a hit right now. Also doing research for the first time ever over the summer. Hell yeah. What are your thoughts on their current path pivoting between academia and industry, and tips for first-time research?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty much doing the same thing with my like quantum postdoc for next year, right?
I think it maybe sounds. Are they pivoting in the opposite direction? It sounds like maybe they're coming from industry. I'm not sure. That wasn't clear to me.
Oh, so I think you're trying to do more research to try to get as much research done, and then also trying to do an internship.
Yeah,
is that the case?
Actually, the question's not clear to me now.
Well, I'm just going to answer it as if...
just yap randomly.
Yeah, like what I would recommend is, especially in the state of NS...
from academia to
From academia to industry. And so you're doing research in industry. Is that the case? So I'm kind of doing the same. Like I need to stay in, like as you know, in Calgary for family reasons, and so I can't really do the postdoc circuit as it was. So I'm staying on at UCalgary as a postdoc. You know, knock on wood, as long as everything sorts out. But to pivot to, well, I'm doing some quantum computing stuff, but to pivot to a more industry focus. And, you know, you can joke that now I'm choosing the most pretentious industry focus mathematics that you could potentially do. And that's probably not coincidence. But it is, you know, you have to balance it. Like I wish I could just live a nomadic life and, you know, just travel around the world and talk about Langlands until I die, and that would be a perfectly good life for me. But I also like, you know, having a family and that kind of stuff. So you have to figure out what balance works for you. And maybe if you find a, you know, industry problem that you find interesting, you know, that's your money ticket, and you can make a good life out of it. So it's a very personal decision, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah. What would you say?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything to add.
Okay,
to that.
yeah.
I think that's also so. I think we'll end it here, but yeah, Wandering Traveler, absolutely. I have such a difficult time explaining Langlands to absolutely anyone who's not precisely in the field. It's that's the one downside. There's a lot of other fields of mathematics that are so much easier to explain to people what you do.
I do kind of lament that. Like when you look at physicists at like the Thanksgiving table or whatever, be like, I study space,
right,
and stars.
Yeah,
like,
and it's
cool.
like, what do you study?
I study a canonical bijection.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, everyone, it's time for us to go prove some theorems. It's time for you to go prove some theorems.